The cancellation of Deadrop has left a hole in not only many of our hearts, but also in various spaces across the gaming industry. The extraction shooter space just lost one of its most anticipated games, packed with ideas that would actually shake up the blossoming genre. The Web3 space just lost one of the very few games that actually seemed compelling, promising, and had a universe in space that gamers would want to play, live, and create in. I recorded this video once before, but I wanted to actually change it up. The first version of this video was a discussion about how the extraction shooter space is actually looking pretty bleak because it's flooded with games that are boring, lacking excitement, any real risk reward, and are essentially just Tarkov clones that aren't as good or content rich as Tarkov itself. Then I did some thinking and arrived at this video idea. In this video, we're going to give you a look at 3 games that you should be looking forward to and looking at if you're someone who is following, anticipating, or testing Deadrop. And all 3 are for different reasons. Rather than worry, we're going to examine some things to look forward to and be excited about. So here we go. So the first one is also the most obvious and probably heavy-hitting game on this list, and that is Bungie's Marathon. And I know things have been crazy at Bungie, but hear me out here. There's several reasons, actually plenty of reasons, to be excited for Marathon. A, it's the first new game that Bungie has made in, 10 years since the original Destiny launched? Something like that. And I know, Bungie's been restructured and there's been a lot of things with the way Destiny and Destiny 2 have played out, right? But Bungie has a legacy of great controls, movement, abilities, enemy AI, constant content updates, right? They're one of the best, most experienced game as a service developers in the world. Story and world building, narrative, and Marathon's gonna have a PvP focus, which for people like myself, that was what I was most excited about Deadrop, the most early snapshots, which were almost all PvP focused. Marathon's going to be the same. So they're actually reinventing Marathon, bringing what is really a franchise that has influenced both Halo and Destiny and a lot of stuff in the sci-fi gaming world for the past, 20, 30 years. And they're getting a chance to reboot it and recreate it as an extraction shooter. And this is a game that's going to be, even though it's published by PlayStation, as Bungie's now owned by PlayStation, it's published on all platforms, so it should have a huge player base. It's going to have, obviously, the Bungie audience. It's going to have PlayStation marketing it to, everywhere. PlayStation and Sony have a huge audience and obviously a large marketing budget. And there should also be a lot of resources going into this game, especially when compared to a lot of these other extraction shooters that have relatively small teams and budgets. Deadrop included was being developed by a very small team at Midnight Society, less than 30 developers here at the end. Bungie's much, much, much bigger than that. So really the base game of Marathon, we still don't know a lot about it beyond that initial trailer, some rumors, a dev video, but everything about Marathon should check all of those boxes, right? Great core gameplay that Bungie is very, very familiar with, an awesome universe and world building, constant content updates, right? Bungie needs a hit. PlayStation needs a hit. They need a game as a service game that is going to be successful. They've had a lot of misses this generation, especially in the games as a service space. So I'm confident that Marathon is going to deliver. And I think it's the game. If you're an extraction shooter fan or you've been looking for an extraction shooter, I think Marathon really is the one to look forward to at this point. Of all of them in development, I think it's the one that has the biggest chance to land, maintain players' attention, and have content updates for years and years and years to come, and really bring the genre to the mainstream, because Tarkov right now is definitely the biggest, but still a niche in a way, almost in a way that Dark Souls has a lot of players, but it's still kind of tapered towards a certain type of player. Marathon will be a game that will attract all sorts of players and have a pretty wide net. And if you want to get prepared for Marathon in a way, you can play the original Marathon trilogy on Steam for free. Just look up Classic Marathon. All 3 Marathon games are on there for free. And while they're definitely, they feel like the original Doom games and they're going to be in very low resolutions, you're going to be able to delve into the universe a little bit and enjoy some retro games and delve into the universe, which actually has some really insane lore that you can look up on YouTube. There's a lot of really cool Marathon lore, ARG stuff out there. It's worth diving into, and I'm really looking forward to playing in the Marathon universe and returning to it, because like I said, it's really informed a lot in Halo and Destiny, and I'm looking forward to creating Marathon content as well. So next up on the extraction specific list is Exoborne. This game is made by Sharkmob, whose first game was Blood Hunt, a really cool vampire-themed battle royale game that never really got its due. It popped off for a few weeks on Twitch with a lot of players, then it fell off pretty quick because it was, I think Sharkmob is a relatively smaller team, but the potential in that game was obvious. The dark universe, the verticality, high movement, definitely high verticality, crazy amount of abilities that allowed for very aggressive play. Everything about Blood Hunt at launch, you could just see the potential and the ideas really shine through, and it was really fun to play and unique in the battle royale space. It just didn't have like the depth or the replayability of games like Fortnite, Apex Legends, and PUBG. But now Sharkmob has moved on to Exoborne, which is their extraction game, which does look like it applies a lot of the at least game design elements of Deadrop, but as you can see in the visuals, looks very polished and just straight up impressive. The graphics look good, the visuals look good, there's tons of movement and abilities here. Looks like it's gonna be a game filled with potential for aggressive plays, almost in a way that like Off the Grid is, but Off the Grid is obviously more battle royale focused than extraction. They're talking about and showing a lot of weather events, like crazy, like reminds me of stuff like Just Cause, like tornadoes on the map and stuff to really cause some chaos. And there's actually a beta starting, or an alpha or a beta, a play test of some kind for Exoborne starting this week, and I hope to get into it. You can request permission to join on Steam, and there's no NDA, so we will be able to stream it, we will be able to create videos on it, and I do think the Exoborne has the potential to, a lot of people who play the extraction shooters that exist right now feel they're pretty slow and meticulously paced and hardcore and punishing, and a lot of people like that. But I think Exoborne is going to be a little different in that it allows for a lot more player freedom and aggressive play. So if you're one of those people who wants a game like that, an extraction shooter like that with more action, Exoborne might be your ticket. And then comes the game that I'm probably most excited about on this list, and it isn't even an extraction game at all, and that's Defect from Empty Vessel, who are a new studio filled with Doom veterans, which you guys know me, I'm a huge Doom fan, and the soundtrack is being created by Mick Gordon, the legendary composer behind Doom, Doom Eternal, the more recent Wolfenstein games. The guy's a legend, they had me at Mick Gordon. But anyway, Defect's universe reminds me very much of the concept for Deadrop's universe. It's very dark, very cyberpunk informed, with, it looks kind of like the movie Dread, Doom, RoboCop, Cyberpunk, Deadrop, all blended into one. And the idea here is, and again, I really love the universe building here, is that basically society as we know it in many ways in the future has collapsed. AI entities are kind of running things, and humans are fighting out amongst themselves with anarchy and chaos between the law and gangs for control of kind of like that like Dread-like concept of these like superstructures and control of these like walled cities. And that's where the gameplay comes into play. It's a squad-based game where you're going to fight against other squads, and you can choose to be like on the side of the law or one of these rival gang factions. And we've seen some gameplay of it, we've seen an initial cinematic trailer, everything about this game. I love the vibe, I love the universe. Obviously it's an FPS led by Doom veterans, scored by the Doom composer, so to speak. I can't wait for this game. I think it's really, a lot of people are sleeping on it right now. I think it kind of has the potential to be the evolution in a way of like, it's PvP focused, but kind of like the evolution of like Payday, because it's kind of like a cooperative PvPvE experience, and I can't wait for this game. Defect should be on your list. Every piece of content they release, and they're releasing, even though I don't think there's a guarantee this game comes out anytime soon. They're doing a really good job releasing content for it. Like releasing like their like gun models and little development update videos showing what they're working on as they go. And I don't know, we'll see. They haven't promised a release date, but it looks pretty far along based on what we're seeing, and everything I've seen looks great. So I can't wait to learn more, when it's coming out, all that stuff. So that's it, guys. I wanted to cover games that I thought actually had overlap with Deadrop, that being Marathon, Exoborne, and Defect. Obviously, there's a ton of other games that I'm looking forward to this year. Doom: The Dark Ages. It's my most anticipated game in a very long time. I think Splitgate 2 is going to launch this year, and I've played multiple playtests, including some under NDA. I think it's going to be a really special game. There's plenty of games coming out this year that I'm very much looking forward to, but I think these are the three that share a lot with Deadrop, and I wanted to point your attention to. But with that said, guys, if I forgot one, if there's one out there you think we should be looking forward to, kind of as we move away from the idea that was Deadrop, the experience that was Deadrop, let me know what game that is in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video. More content coming both here and on my Mayor Reynolds TV channel, my variety channel, and of course you can join me on Twitch. We've been doing a full Doom series playthrough at twitch.tv/Mayor Reynolds to prepare for the Dark Ages. I'm probably going to do a whole marathon series playthrough to prepare for the new marathon. We recently played the original Dino Crisis. We're doing a lot of stuff, so come join us there. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Mayor Reynolds out.
This video is sponsored by G Fuel Energy, a sugar-free energy drink available in both powdered and canned form, and you can get 20% off using code MAYOR at discount. That's just MAYOR, M-A-Y-O-R. Right in checkout, it's going to get you 20% off. There's a ton of good flavors, including this new Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty flavor. If you need a competitive edge, guys, something to keep you up on those late nights, or just get you hyped for whatever the latest release is, look no further than G Fuel Energy and use code MAYOR to get a discount on your order and support my content and channel at the same time.